I started doing rent to owns because of those issues that I was having with tenants, right? Rent to own was the perfect investment vehicle because it starts with a residential lease, a regular lease, but the way it works is that you're going to have a predetermined term, either 2 to 5 years, for that tenant to, on top of their rent, they'll be paying maybe another $400 or $500 or so. That will accumulate over time to their down payment. So this is somebody who wants to buy a house, but they don't have the down payment. They probably need some time to work on the credit as well, right? So at the end of the 2 to 5 year term, typically 5 years, if they don't have any down payment, it's going to take time to build that up. At the end of the 5 year term, you credit back that money as their down payment, and they're able to close, right? But the reason why it's beautiful is because if at any time during that 5 years they lapse on their rent, they forfeit maybe it's $10, $15, $20,000 that they have built up in their rent credits, right? So they're on their best behavior. So for illustration purposes, we target a house that's worth about $350,000. Reason it has to be that cheap. A few years ago, the government brought in a new rule. They're always tightening the mortgage rules. A new rule that says anything above $500,000, you can't buy with 5% down anymore. Right? Above 500, you have to add 10% down. Right? And so for rent to own to really work, you have to keep it at 5%. So we buy at 350 so that when it appreciates year over year, you end up at 500 grand. Make sense? So with a 20% down payment, you know, your down payment is 70K, 5,000 closing costs. Your investment is $75,000, right? So your cash flow, you have mortgage payments, property taxes, home insurance of $1,600 a month, right? The house rents for $1,700 per month, but then they also pay another $500 a month towards the rent credits. These are what add up to the down payment at the end, right? Yields a monthly cash flow of $600, $7,200 annually, 9.6% on your initial investment, right? It appreciates 7% on the $350,000, right? 24/5 each year. That's 32.7% annual ROI on your $75,000 investment. Everybody got that? Your mortgage is being paid down by $480 each month, $5,760 each year, 7.7% additional ROI. At closing, we're going to refund that $30,000. That's their rent credits they've accumulated, right? So that's a minus 40% total ROI, or minus 8 each year. You get what I mean? So you have to pay that money back, or you have to credit it back. So at the end, that's 42% ROI annually. And these are the added benefits that I spoke about, right? They take much better care of your property because it's actually going to be theirs, right? That's going to be their house. They're not going to miss a rent payment because then they forfeit their rent credits. And you also, and this is huge, you have a guaranteed sale with a guaranteed price. You don't have to go out and pay 5% for a real estate agent. You don't have to bargain or negotiate a sale price. You already know what the sale price is going to be. It's preset, right? If you were to buy this rent-to-own property with only 5% down, leveraging even more, the ROI gets pretty crazy at that point. Same house, but with 5% down, your investment's only $22,500, right? Now your mortgage payment's going to be bigger, right? Because you're leveraging more, $2,000 a month after property taxes and everything. Rents for $1,700 per month, and rent credit same, $500. So your cash flow this time is only $200 a month, right? But it's actually 10.7% ROI because your investment is so much smaller, right? Your capital is smaller in this. Appreciation, same 7%, but much higher ROI because your investment is only 22 grand, right? Your mortgage is being paid down each month, $800. ROI again is much bigger because your investment was much smaller. At the end, you still credit the $30,000 back to the rent tenant buyer, right? Huge ROI, again because you're leveraging more, right? And the same benefits. guaranteed sale price at the end. No negotiating with the buyer.
Who takes care of the property while this is going on? So who's responsible for it? Is it the tenant or is it you as the owner?
So it's the tenant for anything that's minor. And because they see this as their house,
Great.
they're not going to be calling you for the little silly nitpicking stuff that a usual tenant would, right? They'll just take care of it. If it's something major, like the roof's got to be replaced and it might be $7,000 or whatever, the owner has to take care of that, right? And for that reason, you might want to buy something that's newer or get a proper home inspection done. Just make sure that your actual house that you're buying is sound so that you don't have those kind of issues. And then everything else is minor and the tenant will take care of it.
Does this apply to condos as well or just houses?
It applies to condos. The reason why most people don't use condos is because of the condo fee. It's a variable you can't control, right? So we know generally that condo fees go up every year because maintenance costs go up gradually. But every once in a while, if the management of that condo is very poor, you'll have what's called a special assessment put on, right? So years ago, I had a condo where it was twin buildings that had certain elements that they shared, like the pool and parking, but different management. And so one condo board was suing the other.
That was my building.
Do
not ask. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's retarded. So,
yes.
So the two buildings are suing each other, and the legal fees just balloon, and they put on what's called a special assessment on top of each unit owner. So where your condo fee might have been $450 each month, it's now $900, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing but pay it. Because if you don't pay it, then they notify the lender, your mortgage lender. Your mortgage lender pays it, and then makes you pay it. And if you don't pay it, they power steal your house. So you really don't have any choice. That's the reason why, for this purpose, condos are not the best, right? Because it's a variable that you can't control, right? Okay, so we're
beautiful building.
Yeah, it happens. No, look, it's not like it only happened to one or two buildings. It happens, and to some of the most attractive buildings out there. It's not so much the building or what it looks like. It's the condo board. Because when the building is being built, sometimes some unscrupulous individuals will find their way onto that board, right? And so their only job there, in their mind, is to find ways to siphon cash into their pocket and their friends.
Right.
Anyway, so that sort of stuff can happen with condos, right?